good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I trust everybody is doing well. So this is 10 minutes past the hour, so we can go ahead and kick off. Um, this is our monthly support call, which we do the first Saturday of each month. Here we, get to meet our practitioner, and then we get to get their nuggets, words of wisdom, and then advice, especially where they are in their career and how they're keeping up. So they answer our questions, and then provide us that. We also have a call for the products deep dive. This we have on the third Saturday of each month. Here, what we do is we get our practitioners, we get to meet them, and then they speak about the product area, provide us with, you know, hands-on on it. So a demo, not just, talking about it, in general, pick an area within a suite, and then they give us a demo on it. So we would have that later on in the month, I believe, about the third Saturday, and then we would be talking about knowledge management, and then high level demo on the concept, and then some of the requirements, and then the advanced features of it. So I know not to keep keep us waiting. But definitely others will kind of like trickle in, so we can go ahead and begin. So Glory, thank you, Kay, for joining timely. Um, so we can go ahead and get to meet you, Glory. So over to you. Tell us a bit about yourself, um, and then on a high level, then we can kick it off. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Glory, and I have over 4 years of experience in the IT industry. And I started as a front-end developer, and I have over 3 years of experience now as a technical service now consultant. And yeah, I possess strong expertise in ITSM, CSM, and HRSD, also integrations. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Good deal. Good deal. Thank you for sharing, Glory. So don't forget, you're able to put your questions in the chat, or use the feature, raise the hands, and that way we can go ahead and get to pick your question all at the same time. Um, so the next question, because there's none in the chat yet. So we've gotten to meet Glory. So now you tell us. So what do you do outside of work? To rest and recharge. How do you keep that? Remember, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So, and how do you keep up resting and recharging your systems?
Yeah, well, outside work, I enjoy playing video games because I like football, and but to stay away from the screen, I enjoy playing keyboard, and also I enjoy cooking. So this helps me to stay away from the screen. But I either play game or do or play keyboard or cook. Yeah.
A good deal, good deal. Those are good. Like we say, um, anything outside of looking at the screen, anything outside of work, right? So you have a lot of good cooking, I guess. So definitely we'll come taste your food soon. That's just a good
Mhm.
thing. And then you play the keyboard for the church, or you
Yeah,
just play
yeah. I
generally.
mean, yeah, I learned from church, so it's more playing some chords to some worship songs. Yeah, yeah. So for
So
church, basically. Yeah.
sounds good. Sounds good. It's a good thing. There's nothing that beats that. So how do you stay up to date, keeping up with the technology trends, especially now we have the AI, predictive analytics, and things like that. How do you keep up?
Well, there are courses from ServiceNow, right? So there's the recent introduction of Gen AI, Now Assist, but I stay up to date by following, ServiceNow on LinkedIn, and
Okay.
also, yeah, try to take these courses, right? Because they help provide these courses for proper implementation. So, um, yeah, so I stay up to date by being very active on LinkedIn, and also, yeah, trying to take the necessary courses so as to be on the same page with the technological advancements.
Awesome stuff. That's the beauty there. ServiceNow, most of the technology, they will always provide us with pretty much what they say, what you need to know, or or pretty much hands-on learning for us to keep up. So all we need to just do there would be for us to um, all we just need to do there is for us to do our own part, which is always go take a look, see what it is, or see what it talks about, and then see how we fit into it. Because whether we like it or not, um, the technology is going to evolve. AI is just at the infancy, so and then each tool would provide its AI learning, whether it's project management, whether it's ServiceNow, whether it's Salesforce. They would provide that short courses to keep up to date. And then, the deltas as they come, there's that delta exam window coming up now. There's always going to be, events like knowledge or word forums, things that one can, participate in. There's a lot of learning. Is the major thing is that we should be opening ourselves up for lifelong learning, especially being in that ecosystem of IT. So great response. I'm loving it so far. So no, the next question is really good one. Uh, as it is kind of like picking off of the last one. So there is the training versus certification, right? The training on one end, then certification on the other. So what's your take? Uh, you know, in these two, it's a training versus certification debate. So what's your take?
Training and certification. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I
what
mean, in IT, I believe continuous learning is very essential, right? And um, in with respect to ServiceNow, there are several courses we can take to sharpen our skills, right? So, training and certification, yeah, that's very different. So, yeah, we can take these training courses. For example, you are with a partner firm, right? So you can take these training courses, but it's a different ball game with respect to uh, certifications, because yeah, because with hands-on practice, yeah, you can um, get to learn more about the specific modules, be it ITSM, CSM, or HRSD, or maybe ITOMs. So yeah, but I think um, it has to be balanced. So while you are learning, um, then at the same time, it's also very important also to practice this stuff, maybe with a client or your PDI.
good deal? Good deal. The fact remains that balance because it's not it's not a versus thing, right? It's an and thing, right? That's the thing. There has to be that balance. So it's always what we call like people would say 50-50. So but the thing is this, uh you know even in service now, or most of the training providers, they actually they train you, give you the hands-on, give you all the stuff, then they give you the that voucher and say, okay, go work, which is in the space, or get certified. Then you get that certification, then you find most roles or you engage its roles that actually would reinforce that learning. But that's the truth. Um, certification is kind of like a foot in the door thing, because right now, without the certification which validates your knowledge, there isn't really no uh, no organization out there, or there are few organizations that want to even give you a shot. And then, let's say you get in there, that training, that knowledge, that hands-on, that ability to really, you know walk the two. That's really what will keep you there, really. So it's a good one. Um, yeah, for the next question that we have, it's really about uh, generalizing versus specializing. So generalists or specialists, what's your take? So what's your advice for?
Yeah, I think there is a place for both in IT, right? Yeah, generalizing can help you understand the platform, um, you know, broadly, and you can get to understand several modules. But yeah, which is very important because sometimes it's not left to you, right, to say this is, especially if you're just starting, or yeah, your career as a ServiceNow developer, you cannot really say specifically this is the module I want to work in. So then you can maybe start from integration, writing business rules, maybe also scripting, or maybe creating a custom, or building some custom tables. So yeah, it can be general at first, but maybe if you have a mentor, or you have or maybe there is a manager, then there can be a career path for you in your firm to specialize in a particular module. And yeah, but I think at first it always starts, you get to work on several modules, and then you get to specialize, especially if you have maybe an initial knowledge. Maybe you are from a finance, or maybe you're from HR. Yeah, this will help you to know which particular module you should look into.
Perfect, perfect. So, and that's just the truth. Uh, like we talk about a lot, there's no right or wrong answer. But the truth is this: there's this thing that we always say, right? Um, Depends where you are in your career. So, for example, if you're starting out, right, you want to be a generalist, and here is why. You said it. You said you don't know which model you would like, or you don't know which application, or you don't know which application suite that you would like, and then you don't even have control. Remember, you're about trying to pay your bills, so you want to be able to, go out there, get on a job, right? So that way you can pay your bills and get that experience that you need. Because there's one thing to just come out of college or come out from training or boot camps. That knowledge is more like theory, right? You need to put it into practice. Yes, you've had all your hands on with, most of the homeworks, or most of the projects and all. But when you're going there and delivering the solutions, right, turning all those those requirements, or those requests or user stories into solutions, that's that working the system. That's the real key there. So depends on the industry you are, depends on where you are in your career. You're starting out as a generalist, you will always have a job. Imagine if you're working in consulting, right? You're working in consulting. So like, whether it's Deloitte, Accenture, KPMG, there's a lot, Bina and Co, BCG, so many of them, right? Or McKinsey, HCL, there's so many. But the point I'm getting at is, once you're within a practice, there's no telling what business that they're going to win. What they just need to know is whether they have people within that are knowledgeable within that too. And then within that practice, or within that organization, they will now say, okay, within that service now space, they will now have a lot of practitioners certified in the different areas. So they will now have as many as, right, that they will use to win that business. And then based off of that, they now start to get everybody ramped up or certified in that area and, moving you along, onto a project. So in that case, if you're a specialist or a master, and maybe it's not an area that you want, or it's not an area that you're familiar with, but that's the point of analysis or consulting. The idea is you don't have all the answers, but you have questions, or you're willing to do the dirty work of digging, right? Because analysis is all about, being on the same page with your customer, right? A common and shared understanding of what the customers ask us. So if you understand it that way, you are able to go in there and then find that solution. You don't have the answers from the beginning, but you're able to dig. You're able to work, right? From the known to the unknown. That's the whole idea. And then it becomes knowledgeable like that. You apply that learning. So one, if you're getting there, you're able to get on that project. Because if you say you're a specialist at that, that's not an area you are. You're now saying, as a master or a specialist there, they're not able to put you there. You're going to be on the bench and they're going to throw you away. Because you cannot be on the bench, because the most that most of those organizations can keep you is 3 months, which are about 90 days. You can't be 90 days on the bench without contributing. That means the firm is paying you rather than billing you for a client. They won't be able to do that, and they're going to let you go. So some organizations do it, but you have to be involved. Maybe you're getting certified or doing things that they feel is beneficial in the long run, because these folks are calculating the same way you are. They're making those, decisions and action. They're making them. So it's a big thing there. So, but if you are much more matured, right, you've worked in a bit, right, you're seasoned, like we said, you're now advanced. You would have gotten the experience that you need in the different areas and the different, suites, and then you can now, be in the driver's seat to say, I think these are the areas I know. And I think that this is where would pay me if I'm a master here. You're able to do that as a senior, not when you're starting out. Because at the senior there now, you can do the regular stuff but now as a master, you're focused on looking for that area or jobs within that niche. At that point, you're able to, because you have gotten some credibility and then some industry know-how, that connection. People will say, okay, yes, let's go. Let's deal. Let's do this. So that's the point there. So there's this, which is what I always say. It's called generalizing specialists. Like most centers of excellence have them. They are a specialist in several domains. So maybe about a handful of them, maybe anywhere from 3 to 5. Maybe like I always say, once you get ITSM, because really the whole service now is really based off of ITSM. It's all task. So once you can get that one done, every other thing is building block. You can sort it out. It just means they bring it out. You go look at the documentation, see how it relates, because it's all hierarchies. It's all relationships. So if you can, just do that, you should be well on your way. You should be fine. You get ITSM, you get HR, you get customer service, engagement layer. Then you add something like what do you call them? Because already you know how to deliver with agile, right? So already that's part of the strategic portfolio management, or SPM. So if you have that, so in there's agile, there's the ATF for testing. There's also project portfolio, PPM. So or you even do the APM. It depends on you, because it's all about making sense for a business, right? ITBM, right? There are other areas, ITOM. So if you want to be a discovery genius, there's so many areas. Or like in my case, so you can decide, okay, I want to be, AI guy, or or focus in most of the analytics area. There are even catalog. As you grow, you're able to say, okay, this is my niche, and this place, even if I'm sleeping, they wake me up, I'll take it out. But yeah, once you're starting out, and then if you're working for the customer, you're tied, like you're limited. So you have to be the one to say, okay, the customer, depends on what they buy, that's what you'll be focused on working. So it depends on the situation, but it's a great one. So Generalizing, yes. As you're starting out, you want to do that. Get your hands dirty. Get you, all what you need, all the experience. Putting it under your belt. Getting your whole consulting. Uh, framework working, right? So that way you can get you on your way. But it's a great stuff. But that's the truth. You always, you always get you to that maturity level where you're looking for. Maturity level where you're looking for. I don't see any questions in the chat. John K, do you have any questions for us before we wrap up? Do you have any questions or feedback?
Yeah, no question from me. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, you're
Yes.
welcome. Um, so glory, uh, glory, to close us out. Um, do you have any words of advice for people trying to come into the system? Glory, although we'll be at the end of the session sharing Glory's contact. Glory is a consultant with Deloitte. He's been there since after his next gen and graduate education. So it's a great experience. Yes.
Yes, I will recommend, yeah, being in, I mean, you don't have to be a pro JavaScript developer, but at least you can just learn, I mean, the very fundamentals, knowing about variables and functions, and because I think it's actually very important today in the ServiceNow ecosystem. And
Mhm.
if you are coming from maybe from, as I said earlier, maybe from finance or HR, then yeah, then this knowledge can really help you to be specialized in ServiceNow ecosystem. So certifications and experience on our PDI is very important. I mean, emphasis on practicing on PDI. Yeah. Thank you.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. That's true. Um, if you don't practice, you don't perfect your trade. Sure. Okay, you go ahead. You have a question you want to share with us. Go ahead.
Thank you, Nameka, and thank you, Glory. Thank you, John, for joining this meeting. So, Glory, you were talking about being more like in the development role and all that, and talking about JavaScript. So, this current service now, will I say journey or will I say deviation? I don't know the right word to use for it. In terms of being a citizen developer, how do you think that will pan out for those of us that are not strong JavaScript people but want to be in core development? How do you think it will really work out for us? Do I have some answers on top of my head, but I want to hear from your perspective, being that you're in Deloitte and you see what they're trying to, where they're tending towards. So, what's the body language of the organization looking like? Is this something that we can learn from to make us better and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned JavaScript because I mean, when we look at ServiceNow today, we have tables, we have flow designer, we have automations like we have service portal. But the reason why I mentioned or I recommended JavaScript fundamentals is because it helps with one utility in any firm. You get more valuable. I mean, you get more. Your utility is more. I mean, you can be very much needed in almost any project. I mean, because my observation is that we have a lot of business consultants, and they really need technical consultants. So that's why I'm saying JavaScript. If one can, I mean, you don't have to be a pro. JavaScript developer, but I feel it will just help you land more projects in any firm you join. You can survive without it, but it will be very much great, and it will help with much more opportunities if one can at least read and write it to an extent.
It's okay. Does that answer your question? So I was just putting some of the, the resources that are out there you can use to, learn learn JavaScript. They are all, from beginner to advanced one can do. There's a lot of resources that are there, which we all know, whether you're using the Code Academy, whether you're using W3 School, whether you're using the free resources from Chalk, as well as Earl, which is the free resources, kind of like giving you the basics for you to understand. Are you going to have all the, or be a, the pro guy from day one? No. But what really matters is the understanding, the brains behind it, that backbone, that understanding is really the key there. Because if you do, then everything else kind of like makes sense. Everything kind of like makes a whole lot. Everything there now kind of like makes a whole lot of sense from there on, because it, you know, how to read it, how to troubleshoot, how, because it's all syntax. So once you know that, the core components of it, you should be fine, able to, troubleshoot, find your way around it. And then within ServiceNow, ServiceNow provides you the resources, whether it's the one from Chalk or even the learning plans, because it's really, client and server side, how you can, you'll be able to, configure or control the behavior, whether of the forms or, the web pages generally. So there's quite a number of resources there to help us to learn it and then understand the basic concepts within it, and then try it out within our PDI, break that PDI, so that you'll be confident enough. Analysis is about being on the same page with your customers. That's the same thing with consulting. Remember, it's decisions and actions. So for the business analyst, it's really about setting up those meetings, understanding that customer, so that you can, with it, your templates, summarize meetings, and craft out user stories from those requirements, from those meetings. The technical analyst or technical consultant, his own business is to know the requirements so well that he knows the technical components to make changes to, or he knows what particular logic or particular part of the platform that's going to be beneficial to resolve or to help that customer to achieve that requirement. That's so, because you're supposed to be trusted advisors to guide them, to be able to see what is where and what is where not, which is the beauty there. So that way it's really at the heart of it. So, and if you want to, even right now, most companies, the way they are going, even when they say they are looking for a business analyst, business process consultant, they just want a lead analyst, somebody that can do, that knows both the technical as well as, as well as the process side of the business. So that way, maybe, you write, much more informed stories, as well as be able to do technical demos and things like that, for the clients, and, kind of like give them, best practice recommendations, where you see, especially if you notice anything that's that is deviating, and then see how you can shepherd them to be close to out of the box as possible without them always having to do a lot of custom work, because many time companies they need to actually evaluate their processes, so do like a value stream map from the get-go, which many of them try not to. They just want to do a lift and shift, pretty much squeezing the old into the new, or make the new look like the old, stuff like that. But if you kind of like make them see where there's no value and then knock those out, so that this is how the system is, and then see how you can tailor it, their process to kind of like fit. That way it makes sense, rather than having the other way around, make the process, make the things fit their system, so to say. So that's the big one. But yeah, there's a lot of community just like this. There's a lot of hand holding. There's a lot of like we talk about with the mentoring, coaching. There's a lot resources there. There's that on Pan African community. There's also the ServiceNow community. So come in, engage there. After this call now, we should have the recordings come out. Download them. And then we will also be sharing Glory's contact, so you can connect with him. You can get connected with him, whether via LinkedIn or send him a WhatsApp message. He'll be able to help as best he can. But the whole idea is to grow your community, grow your network, and then engage. LinkedIn is there, so be a big player there. There's almost every organization has a social presence, so kind of like keep up with what's happening in there. Even if it's even part of the resources. I always tell people, before you even the one things that you really know, Google the thing first. It will now take you to where you already kind of maybe you're used to, like documentations and things. So, but that Google is a powerful thing, and especially now with AI embedded and all that. So there's a lot of there's a lot of things that it will help you get to and really understand, high level. You must not, go really deep, just high level. Just get that summary really quickly, and then you should be able to really, if you like it, you explore further, things like that. So it's very helpful. So once again, Kate, did I answer your question, or you had other things in mind, or? All right. So once again, Glory, thank you for sharing your Saturday with us. I know you know we've been richly blessed. So for sure. So we do appreciate you coming out to share your experience and your journey with us. So we are glad you did. All right. So once again, thank you everyone. For joining the session. We would have our product deep dive in 2 weeks. So download the videos, connect with Glory, and then I'll talk to you next month. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and happy new month. Bye-bye.
Thank you, and you too. Bye.